Oops, I double clicked on it. Hey, Ronnie, good evening.
Hey, Phil, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. I can't
I
believe
am,
it's July. Can you?
yeah, all I have to do is go outside with this long sleeve shirt on, and I know it's July because I'm way overdressed.
I know. It's been hot. It's a little bit cooler today, so if you was outside today, it wasn't quite as bad as it has been. But yeah, it is hot out there for sure.
But
But
we've gotten some rain and my weeds are growing again.
do you like summer?
Being from Texas, I think about, and I was born, I won't say this too often. I was born up in the north and I moved to Texas when I was 2.5. Um, I like the heat. I'd much prefer being too hot than being too cold.
Yeah, I always look forward to summertime, but then I always look forward to it being over and getting a little bit cooler too. So we're about halfway through, I believe, about halfway through the summer, the peak of the summer.
And being not from around here, I guarantee you do not understand the blessings of having 4 seasons. Texas, it goes from blistering hot to blistering cold. We
Right.
have most years we have a
Yep.
solid 4 seasons.
Yep. We do.
And it's even if I had married a Carolina girl, I don't think I'd be rushing back to move back to Texas anytime soon. I went to summer camp out at a Y camp on a lake in Texas where it was 103 every day. I don't think at 61 years old I'm going to be able to enjoy that too much anymore.
I understand. Well, a lot of things been happening in town, even though it's been a little bit hot. Things have been going on. There's some things happening at the chamber, is it not?
We have a full schedule once again. Let me pop it up here at this stage. There we go. So on our calendar, coming up July 23rd, we got a lunch and learn. Trish Bass. Oh my gosh. This lady is, if you are running a business in Rolesville or in the surrounding areas, and you want to figure out how to get more impact from your social media, whether it's Google or Facebook, LinkedIn, Nextdoor, Trish is your woman. She is the person to go to that can advise a business owner on the right play, where to put your resources, where to put your time. We're having a lunch and learn with her at the chamber, July 23rd at noon. It's a lunch and learn. I definitely encourage you to come listen to what she has to say. And it'll be a small enough crowd of 10 to 12 people. We can actually get into one-on-one discussions and actually, give you individualized advice for that event. Coming up after that, July 25th. Oh my gosh. We've had some fun business after hours, but the best one of the year is always at Granite Falls because it's at the pool. And guess what? The pool has a bar. So bring your swimsuit. Don't bring your swimsuit. I think the pool closes at 7:00. So if you want to get thrown in the water, you can. But I was just there for their Friday night event for the 4th. A lot of fun. They had live bands, live music. We're having our July after hours there. Come on out and do a little business to business networking with us. We'd love to have you.
Yes, a lot of food too there, I think.
They do a good job. Yes, absolutely. Between the bar and the kitchen they've got going on, good stuff. They had people out grilling burgers and dogs when I was there.
Cool.
So that was good. The chamber has reestablished their monthly morning coffees. So every one Tuesday every month from 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning. Typically the second Tuesday of the month. It really depends. A business hosts it. We don't charge any money to have the business host it. It's going to be a business member, a member of the chamber. This month coming up, we've got Gwen Bailey with Business Insurance Group. Gwen's going to talk about insurance concerns for small business, give you some tips and pointers. But if you would like to host a morning grind in the next year, let us know. We'd love to help promote a local business and get your name out there and help you get some exposure to some new clients out there. But August 13th, please come on out for that. And then the golf tournament's coming back. We did it last year. We're going to do it this year. Anytime Fitness has jumped in as our presenting sponsor, our top level sponsor, backed up our local storage facility, Storage Max, and a few other hole sponsors. They're grabbing a hole. They're going to have a tent or a table set up at their hole, and they're going to have some tchotchkes to hand out, some gimmies, some little takeaways. You can fill up your shopping bag, throw it in the back of your cart, play on through 18 holes. Hawthorne's and Tiva benchmark Rob Worthington home inspections. We're getting more sponsors every day. Please come out for that golf tournament. We'd love to have more players. So it's the sign up is live on the chamber website. You can go in and sign up for more sponsorships, or just sign up as a team player. Sign up a team or an individual player. Biggest event of the year for the chamber. We haven't done it in a couple of years. Barbecue and bands coming back this September. It'll be from 1 to 6 in the afternoon, September 28th. We're going to have probably 3 or 4 local bands, local being local to Wake County, Franklin County. We're going to have probably 15 or 20 chefs cooking some good barbecue. It's going to be a little bit of pork, a little bit of beef, some ribs, some brisket. It's going to be a variety of different meats out there. You can put some money out and get some samples of their highly well-spiced meats. We'll also have food trucks because we don't have the cooks that have to feed 3,500 people. It's going to be right there at the city park behind the back end of the city park, right behind Sanford Elementary.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Nice little amphitheater there. If come early, parking might be a small issue. We're probably going to be transporting people in with a sponsored transport coming in from parking at Thales. So parking will be interesting this year. But we're looking forward to bringing this event back to Rolesville. I think the town has a lot of fun with it. The residents have a lot of fun with it. The business owners have a lot of fun with it. And so definitely come out for that. And I believe that is what we've got to wrap up our events for July and the rest of the year. We'll have more information for more after hours, more morning grinds as we get hosts and get those established. But that's what's going on in the chamber in Rolesville at this point. What's going on with the town?
That's a lot going on. The biggest thing we had was the fireworks show a couple of days ago, I guess last week. And I talked to June a little bit about that when we come on. And I think you was out of town. You wasn't able to see that, were you? I believe, Philip, you missed the 4th celebration, right?
I did watch the fireworks, and we snuck in. I've got some family health issues going on, supporting one of my in-laws. And so I couldn't make it to the town event down with the crowd. Mm-hmm. We did sneak in at about 8:45. I jumped into the parking lot at the firehouse and joined the firehouse families. We watched the fireworks from the firehouse, and it was the first time I'd seen big fireworks in about 5 years. So I really thoroughly enjoyed that. Good job.
Yeah, it was, and they had a band, the Ray Band. It's a band that's been around for a long, long time. Now, I don't ever recall seeing them before. I may have, but I don't recall seeing them before. But they did a really good job, a good diverse music, a lot of different types, beach music, R&B, everything. So they did a really good job. I think everybody enjoyed it, and I always get good feedback on the fireworks show itself. I'm biased. I mentioned, off the cuff, I'm biased, but I hear from some people that come that should not be biased. They're not from here. They always give me a good review and says one of the best shows that they've seen. Did you enjoy it, Philip?
I loved it, and I had one of our 4 sons was actually down at the Raleigh fireworks show, and he's a young man. He can stand the crowds. He can stand the lines. I'm not with that. I want to go to a smaller crowd, easier to get into, easier to get out, and that was definitely what Rolesville was.
Yeah, and the Raleigh show had some problems this year. I think I saw on the news. So you went down there, you may would have been, not as pleased with.
They got a little wet.
Got a little wet, a little lightning storm, and that kind of thing. So little trouble, but we had a really good night. It was a little bit hot. Then it cooled off a little bit before the fireworks, and had a really good night. I don't know how many people. It's hard to guess how many people actually saw it, because you have people stopping on the bypass watching it, as they come through town, and yep. People like to
get on the bypass and turn in on Young Street, and both the Baptist churches parking lots were filling up with people, and even because it was set off on the town's the farm that the town owns there. I forget the name. What is that? How do you refer to that farm today?
You talking about where? Yeah, it's we call it the complex. It's where our municipal complex is going.
Municipal complex.
Mm.
There were a bunch of people said there was plenty of space there for people, scooting in at the last minute, setting up.
Yeah.
So there were, and I talked to a couple of friends that, a lot of the construction is happening on the south end of town. There was a lot of open space for people to jump in and just pull the car off to the side and get out of the car, throw the camp chair out.
Mm-hmm.
So there were people enjoying it everywhere in the area.
It was. And we'll get June on in a little while, and I'm gonna try to nail him down on the number of people. But it's really hard to know the number because, as you say, they're all through town at the churches. I don't bypass. You snuck in. I don't think we counted you, Philip. But I heard number of 10,000 people. Well, we'll see if we can get June to confirm. Just how many we had. But it was a lot of people. So
it's about the time we're ready to bring him on. If you
want to bring, we got a couple of really good guests tonight, Philip. I'm excited to have them. This is Parks and Recreation Month. We did a proclamation this week on that to recognize the Park and Recreation Department, and we're going to talk about it a little bit. So I think the first guest we got is Paul, I believe.
Let me bring him up.
Yeah, bring Paul up and. Oh, that's June.
Oh, June. Sorry. Hey, June, we'll be back to you.
There's Paul. That looks like
fire the producer.
Hey, Paul. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, you as well.
Yeah. So Philip, appreciate it, and talk to Paul about 20 minutes. You drop back in a few minutes. Paul, you are the Rolesville Town Commissioner and liaison to the Parks and Recreation Department. Give us a little other bio, more about who you are, how long you've been in town, and kind of what you do, the service you do to town.
So I've been in town since 2012.
Wow.
I have 4 kids, and kind of my into the Parks and Rec thing was actually moving into town. Your kids automatically want to go to play sports and stuff, and we had baseball here, softball, had some soccer, and had our oldest that wanted to play soccer. And it's always hard to find volunteers. So they asked if I'd coach for their team, and not know anything about soccer. I said, sure, why not? We'll do it anyways. And from then on, I think it was about 8 or 9 years, I've been coaching either soccer. I tried baseball 1 year, did basketball 1 year, just trying to be into a little bit of everything. And and that kind of worked into there was a year where we didn't have fireworks in the 4th of July, 2014. And like you said, everybody knows Rolesville for the 4th of July and our display of fireworks. So there was a group of us that got together and actually put something together for 2015. And in that group, we kind of paired off a little bit from that 2016 through 2018. My family actually started a nonprofit with the help of the town, and actually ran it those years to just make sure we had something going for the town. And then the town wanted it back. I mean, it must have been that great that they wanted to keep it going. So that was the start of everything. And then from then on, I ran for office, and I am 6 years and X amount of months in. I've been on the Parks and Rec Advisory Board as our liaison for that entire time. Mm-hmm. And we've had a lot of things going on with Parks and Rec. People don't realize, people just think of Parks and Rec as the sports. That's the biggest thing, the sports, and they see the parks we have. The parks we have are great. We have Main Street Park. It has playgrounds and such, and then we have the farm, which we actually just purchased a while back. 116 acres of that, and maybe we can talk a little more about that in a few. Millbridge Nature Park as well. Just in its name, it's a nature park. Greenways, everything else connect us to everybody. And then we, just all the other things that come along with Parks and Rec. We have programs. We have different things we've added. We started Arbor Day. We've been on our USA team Tree USA member for 7 years. And then when we started our Arbor Day celebration in the town, we would just plant one tree. We had a couple people show up, and it wasn't anything big. This year, we actually gave away pollinator plants to everybody that wanted to come along. We had events for the kids in Main Street Park, and so things like that. We started little with everything, and kind of grown it from there. And it's been amazing to see over the years how much we've actually grown everything with Parks and Rec.
Yeah, and I think like you said, you was a coach, and then ever since you've been commissioner, you've been the Parks and Recreation liaison, working directly with the Park and Recreation director, and also the board that kind of do advisory board on that. It is your passion. It's something you enjoy doing. You like. You feel the importance of Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that, like I said, Parks and Rec just isn't parks and, just parks in general. There's greenways. We have 10 miles of greenway in Rolesville. We've actually added, our newest thing is Naturally Rolesville. It's a new thing we're working out where we are adding pollinator gardens to Rolesville to add back into the nature of everything. And we have a few slides we could show of that. We also just this past year brought murals into the town, and there's a mural in that one as well as our pollinator garden at Town Hall right there. And it's anything and everything. We just need to add more things. We have more. We have events for everyone, Parks and Recs for everyone. Not just for sports and everything else, but we have events like we had our first Juneteenth this year. We had our Rolesville 4th of July, obviously, and then we have Fall Fun Fest coming up. That's always a great draw for everybody, and has all kinds of things for everyone. Yeah.
I think you hit on some of it. We did a proclamation Tuesday night. You actually read it. And one of the first sentences, it says that Parks and Recreation is an integral part of the communities, and you feel that way. That really it's more than just, like you said, youth ball and that type of thing. It's embedded as part of the community.
Yep, definitely.
I know one of the things, I think I mentioned it some back campaigning and stuff, that we were working on. Our Parks and Rec's vision, I guess you'd call it. And, I think at the time we talked about 4 things, especially the use of sports programs, that's a big part of it. But we also wanted to make sure that, we have good activities. I mean, you mentioned a bunch of those activities that we got planned this fall coming up. So activities is a big thing. And then the 2 new things we were working on was culture and also history. Right. So, I think, with some of the artwork you're doing and stuff like that with the murals and things like that, that's a little bit more in the culture side of it. And then naturally, I think we're doing the museum, the nature museums and stuff. Do you feel like we're on track on some of these goals and visions we have for Parks and Recreation?
I think we are. I think, and as you mentioned, the outdoor museum, a big shout out to Derek Verstegen for that. He helped us out a lot with that, but that is something new we're actually doing as well. That ties into your culture, that ties into your history and everything else of your town. That is going to be, we have a station right now in Main Street Park that's going to kind of tells you a little bit about different spots, different locations in town, whether it be history, geology, this, that, and everything else. If anything's happened in town, we're trying to put a marker there. You don't want to lose that history. You don't want to lose what's unique about Rolesville. Mm-hmm. Anybody could have a generic anything in their town, but if it's something that's very unique to Rolesville, we definitely want to point that out and go from there. So I think our Parks and Rec department is great at looking outside the box, trying to do new things, trying to add new things, and then trying to expand to stuff we wouldn't even have thought of before. So I think they're doing a great job. They're expanding out to our senior population,
Mhm.
which is a great thing. They hold events for them. They hold, for example, like bingo events for them and stuff like that. Take them to down to the mall, to have, so they can get a little bit of time out and stuff like that. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a group that will really try to cover your entire community.
Yeah, I think we're going to talk with June a little bit about the staff side of it. And the staff, you're right, the staff works very hard and they do a really good job. And when you hear what June talks about, you know that for sure. But you mentioned Derek Van Stegen and several others like him has done a lot in the park in the last, and you as a volunteer before you came on the board. But it really, from a community standpoint, it really is good to have community involvement, and it's opportunities of people in the community to get involved. And not only if you don't really like kids sports, or if you're older like I am, you don't have to do that. It's other things you can get involved in, right? And we do you encourage citizens to get involved in our programs?
Yeah, definitely. And we actually, so we had the pollinator gardens that were just shown there. That was actually the Rolesville High School FFA actually helped us put in one of those. So that's one of those ties where you try to do, you get to the youth. We've had another group that came out, Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, that actually helped us clean up after the first year of our pollinator garden in the front of Main Street or Town Hall. And then we have other groups that will come out. We have blood drives at a well that they hold every other month, and litter sweeps. I mean, anybody can do a litter sweep. So stuff like that. There's something for everyone. And if there isn't, definitely let us know. If you have an idea or anything else, let the Parks and Rec know. And they're very good about trying to tie everybody in.
Yeah, and I think like even the military banners. I mean, that was sort of branched out of the parks earlier, didn't it? I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I brought that before the board, and they were great at putting together. They found me a source to make those banners, and helped with initially getting that all started. So that was great.
Yeah. So what do you've been commissioner, been Parks Recreation Liaison. What is your biggest things that you're proud of, your accomplishments you most proud of in last 5 years, 5.5 years?
I think the pollinator gardens is the biggest thing. I think that's something that you don't see every day. I mean, you don't hear about it. It's something that's added to nature. I think between that and the growth of our Arbor Day, I think were the two biggest things I'd like to, most accomplishments, I'd like to talk about. I think those are really the biggest ones on my mind. I think those two things, and the military banner thing is a great thing too. Like you said, that came out of the Parks and Rec initially and stuff like that. That's a great part of our community. We salute them for their service. But it's just I don't know. It's been a whirlwind, but it's been quick. I'm just looking forward now to we're getting to the next stages of the farm out of the bypass, and we actually have the entrance of that farm out to bid right now. So we are looking to hopefully get that going out there. We've put some money together, hopefully for the next couple budgets to actually start expanding that out there. And again, to the staff and everybody we have at Town Hall, they're looking for ways to, maybe we can't bring everything all at once, but we're going to bring pieces and parts that make the most sense first. And then that way we can activate that area out there and get it going.
Yeah, I think if I recall, we got $12 million in the next 4-year budget, in our short-term budget for the next 4 years to start implementing programs out there. And we're not really sure what we're going to do, are we?
Right now, we're not right now. Yeah, we're floating around a couple ideas, but we want to, you need the biggest bang for your buck right when you start off, just to make sure, it's something that that makes sense, that helps out the community. And there'll be, once that's all done, it'll be something for everyone.
Mhm.
It's just a matter of bringing in the phases, and how
Yeah.
we're going to do that.
Yeah, I think it's 116 acres. I think, if I
116. Yeah,
recall.
that's right.
And if
Yep.
I recall, the price tag a year ago, a year and a half ago, was like $32 million. It's probably
Yeah.
40 million before we get it built.
Right.
It's a really nice park if you think about all the amenities that goes in it. Describe it real quick. If it completely build it out, what will it look like?
I think it's got 4 ball fields on it. 2 of them are, I think, multi-use. We also have, there's actually a farmhouse out there. We're looking to do kind of agritourism section in the middle of that. So you'll have an educational spot there. There's also an all-inclusive playground out there, dog parks. I think there was a spot for actually like soccer fields and stuff like that too once we get further along. But and then an event center and then an amphitheater as well. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to go out there. It's just a matter of getting it all together and getting it all lined up and making it happen.
Yeah, and if I recall, it's got a really nice pond. I don't know if we could put that to a use somehow, fishing or something like that. And
Yeah.
a really nice area behind the pond that can be, like you said, could be a garden or something.
Right.
Community garden or something like that, because it is was a farm, was farm property there. And then we got a little bit of area that we hadn't defined exactly what it would be. So it's pretty excited. So I think probably $12 million may get a third of it. Is that what you think?
I hope.
Yeah. Everything is getting very, very expensive.
Right.
So if you moved to town, just moved here from, let's say, New Jersey, what would you tell somebody moving here about the Parks and Recreation Department here?
We have anything and everything they would want. We're adding more every day. And I would give you an example. We actually had people show up to Main Street Park, which it's a jewel. It's in the middle of town. Everything else, everybody knows it. We had people actually come from out of town that were just kind of visiting the area when we were having an Arbor Day event, and we were talking to them. And they said their son was looking for a place to stay. It was kind of between Rolesville, Wake Forest, and kind of surrounding areas. And we kind of told them, what we have, what we offer, what's coming down the line. And they made 1 or 2 laps around there, and they came back and said they were going to really recommend Rolesville to their son to actually move to because of everything we kind of offered. We have the farm right now that we were just talking about. We actually have Millbridge Nature Park. We actually just put a grant in for that, request for a grant. I believe we're going to get that. We're going to renovate that, and that's an amphitheater we had down in there. We're going to renovate it. It's going to be ADA accessible. We're really going to step it up out there so we can have events out there as well too. So we have a lot of stuff that's actually going on in town right now.
And I think we're renovating Main Street Park too, if I recall.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
some money in the budget. That's going to be pretty quick, I guess, this year. 2024 and 5.
Yeah, we're gonna. There's a lot of things that can go with that park, but one of the main one is we're gonna put like a permanent rubber mulch down for our playgrounds area to make it safer, and you don't have the mulch sliding down, so much and everything else. It'll be a lot more of a permanent setup.
So what do you hear that we don't have? If you're thinking about the future parks plans and stuff, what do you hear citizens says they want that we don't have in our parks right now?
I think the big one right now is going to be pickleball. I think everybody's talking about that. I think that's how you work with your parks and rec group, and that's how you pivot to what people want and need. We don't have the farm completely built out yet, so maybe we need to pivot on a certain phase of that to incorporate that in there if that's a long-term thing that everybody's looking for. People are also just, I think in general, people love where they live here. I think they just want to make sure they have park area to actually go to. So we kind of work with that too on the town board to kind of work with our developers and see if, they might have some land when they're developing that they can kind of maybe set aside or offer to the town for future parks. So we're not going out there and trying to get land when it's not there anymore. So we're trying to work ahead with that too.
Right. You have to plan ahead. You have to really,
Right.
you really have to plan ahead and bank. I call it banking property if you're going to build something in the future. And it's still a few pieces that, probably be good places to have a park or,
Right.
something like that. But 20 minutes go by fast, Paul. So,
It does.
I'm going to bring June on. Anything closing? Anything you want to, leave the citizens with before you go?
Just remember to take care of nature around you. And like I said, if there is something out there, Parks and Rec related, that you are not seeing right now, please make sure you let us know. That's why we're here. That's why we're a big community. We want to make sure everybody gets to enjoy our community. And you'll have June on, so he will be the one taking all the heat for that. But make sure they contact June to tell him what they would like to see around our town.
Yep. And I think the artwork that we've done in the last year or so has been really great, and it looks good. It's a good overall team effort by everybody. You, Paul, you've done a great job. A lot of citizens. I hate to name one because you have to name so many.
I know there's a lot.
We already mentioned Derek, and Derek, worked with Parks. I don't know how many years. Him and Terry, great job, and that's what it takes. You got June and his staff, and we're going to talk about it in a minute, but he can always use volunteers.
Exactly.
He can always use volunteers. Anybody out there that wanted to be like Paul and volunteer and kind of help out with some things, just let us know. We appreciate it. He said, come on. Thanks, Paul.
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Well, there's June. How you doing?
Hey, Mayor, how are you?
I guess I'm doing good. I guess your ears was itching and burning from what we were talking about there.
And yeah, it was a little bit.
Probably you had to set on your hands to keep from jumping in, because I'm sure you wanted to jump in some few things. So go ahead and introduce yourself. I know we had you on the show about a month ago, but go ahead and introduce yourself again. I know you from Franklin County up in the Lewisburg area.
Mm-hmm.
Hope you enjoy being a little bit more south now than Lewisburg. But just tell us a little bit about June Greene and how you got here and what's it been like so far.
Okay, my name is June Greene. I'm the Rolesville Parks Recreation Director. I started last August, so I'm pushing up almost a year. I came from Franklin County Parks and Recreation, where I was the director for 17 years. Born and raised in Lewisburg. I was the youngest of 6. I was that old child, Mayor. My oldest is my oldest sibling is 17 years older than me. So, it was that big gap there. So I'm the youngest. I have a daughter, and she just gave me my first, I call him my first son. since I only had one girl. So I got a grandson. His name is Creelan. He's about 2 months old now. So that's been exciting this last 2 months. But being here for a year, I've kind of sat back and kind of see how things were ran in the past, and try to emulate as much as I could of what was working and what the citizens like. And now we're at a stage of tweaking some things here and there, but for the overall, Rolesville Parks and Recreation has been a thriving from way back. I've actually umpired World Series All-Star games here in the town of Rolesville before for Dixie Youth Baseball back in the day. So I actually know what Rolesville athletics and Parks and Rec, what it was like back in the day. So I'm just trying to make sure I can bring it back and keep it moving forward.
Yeah, Paul and I, and you do a great job. You've been really excited having you, June. You bring excitement to the group. I think some things you do, and very excited. The last 11 months almost now, excited to have you. We read the proclamation, entered the proclamation. This, while we have the show tonight, has to do with Parks and Recreation Month, and one of the whereas, these things got whereases all over them. And one of the whereas, talks about increased property values, expansion of local tax base, increased tourism, attractions and retention of businesses, and crime reduction.
Yes.
You believe all that?
Yes, it does. Like I said, crime, when they talk about crime, a lot of times, because they say if you have idle time on your hands, a whole lot of time, that's when you get into trouble. So by providing recreation and activities, not just for youth or adults as well, it gives them opportunity to go out and not sit around with nothing to do, think about bad things to do. Also, it gives them a chance to blow off some of that stress that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Like with our line dancing classes, dance classes for adults, bingo of there, so whatever, it gives them a chance to relieve some of that stress so that they don't have it built up in them where it may lead to violence at home or so forth. So, and like you say, increasing the value of your land and stuff. I mean, parks, building a home, if you have a home and then a park comes near it, the value of your home is going to go up tremendously just because the accessibility for recreation so close to your home.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest thing that a lot of people noticed that it was during COVID. They noticed that during COVID, the open space and being outdoors was very important for people to be able to space themselves and still be able to get out. So I hate to say it, COVID brought along some things, but COVID kind of put a big spotlight on parks and recreation and showed people how important it is to have parks and open space.
Yeah, I think during COVID, it very much demonstrated how it connects with mental health.
Yes.
And, people getting shut in at the house and, isolated, you talked about something, nothing to do. And isolation comes with that and stuff. It really does, just walking out in the park or going out there, sitting on the park bench or something and just seeing the sunlight just makes, a tremendous amount of difference. One of the things it mentions in this proclamation that made me think when we was reading it all night, June, has to do with tourism. I don't think we're there yet, but we're talking about getting there. Is that right?
Yes, we are looking to get there, even at Millbridge Nature Park right now. The tourism that we had our Juneteenth event, and we also have music at Millbridge. Those events that bring in different artists to perform, and people are coming from out of town to actually see these artists perform, because some of these artists has a following, so they're bringing people in. People are wanting to come to see them, and so when they come, they're going to want somewhere to eat, and they're going to spend their money here in Rolesville. And as we get bigger, especially with the farm start to progress, we really going to really look to bring in other, increase their tourism, even if it's anything from ball fields, even with the ball fields that we're talking about bringing in, that may be able to, we can host tournaments. So that's going to bring people in. And some of the open space that we have out there at the farm, we can even throw in disc golf course, something that's very low maintenance that people will travel. Surprisingly, I didn't know it was that popular as well. People would travel hour, 15 minutes just to play disc golf on a brand new course. So the tourism is going to be coming. Once we build this connectivity with our greenways all through cobblestone and so forth, with those businesses and stuff there, people are going to come down, want to go to those businesses. They're going to end up walking through the town, and people are going to want to start coming to Rolesville because it's going to be that that hometown feeling in a growing city. So the tourism is going to spark. We start having more events. When the Juneteenth event, our first year doing it this year, we had close to 100 some people there. Next year, I see it being more. People are already asking about being vendors. Other artists have already approached me about wanting to be an artist at the event. So I see it really growing. And right here on 401, with the 4 lanes, people are going to come to us.
Yeah, exactly right. I don't know if you saw it, June, but Terry Simmons, Thorn and Rose.
Yes.
She popped up that August the 4th. there will be an event for school supplies, kids going back to school in August.
Yes.
And I think you're partnering with her on doing that. One of the things I've seen since you've been on board, June, and maybe it seemed like you put an extra effort or bigger effort on partnering with, nonprofits, working with churches, all sorts of other organizations. Even I tell you, tremendous amount of work I've seen in the last 12 months has to do with the senior network, the nonprofit senior network with senior citizens and stuff. It appeared that you really put an effort on connecting the parks with nonprofits and other organizations to bring a bigger product to the community, more or less. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, because to me, Mayor, when you're in a community, it needs to be community based. And so that means that the more that we get involved with the community, the more the community feel more susceptible to be a part of Parks and Rec. They will be more involved to participate into our programs, because all these businesses and organizations are staples in Rolesville. So the more we do with them, the more we will build that relationship, and it'll make Parks and Rec and the whole town more community based, where everybody will feel inclusive to be able to go to this event or go to that event, because they know that it is a community event, and then the town is just one big community now.
That's great. That's great. So when you're talking about that and community stuff, what do you see as Greene's goals? Do you have any goals? I know you mentioned something one time about more adult recreation and stuff. What do you see? What do you see? What you want to personally accomplish? As being Parks Director here in Rolesville.
I want to get more inclusive and diverse, Mayor. I want us to do not only touch. So right now we only do athletics just for youth. I want us to do adults. I would love for us to have more of our seniors participating in the senior games as well here in Rolesville. I know that those senior games for Wake County or in other towns, but I want us to be more than just youth athletics. Even when it comes to our culture events, I want our culture events to be truly diverse culture events. Like this year, we just started Juneteenth. So that was a big step in that direction, where we do have another culture event where we are looking to maybe do another event where it's a multicultural event. So I'm looking at doing that. I'm looking at doing also diversify with our population, so we can do that special needs population. I want to get more involved with the special needs, Special Olympics, having special needs dance. That's one of the things I want to do, because that's one of my passions also. And like with the senior organization, I've actually put it upon all of our coordinators, say, hey, I want this department to be diverse. And all of our coordinators now have jumped on. I have a great staff. Like I say, I'm just up here the one speaking, but I need to have a whole hour just to talk about my staff by themselves.
Oh, yeah.
They do a great job. So my staff had jumped in and did their trying to do diverse programming. Miss Tina White, she's over our cultural coordinator. She has jumped in with the senior network. They have their own little group that meet once a month to come up with activities that they have set for them. And within the last year, she has been set up for this coming year that they're going state fair, Chinese lighting, some kind of sugar event. They're going to the casino. They're doing trips for just the seniors. And, when she told me about the event for the sweets, the sweet food or something, kind of sweet dairy, bakery or something, I actually told her that if she needs somebody to chaperone with her for that one, I would actually volunteer to go with that one with the seniors. But right now, my thing is I want this thing to be diverse and inclusion for the town. That's my real biggest push. So that's why I've been out talking to the churches, talking to the schools, talking to all these special groups and organizations within the town, so that I could build me a team up within the community that we can pull off all these events.
Yeah. And like you said, it's for everybody. And that takes some thought, really, for everybody. Because, you mentioned special needs kids. And, I think I mentioned it other night in the board meeting. We don't have a lot of special need playground equipment right now. Really, for your special need kid, you don't have a lot of playground equipment to use. And, that's one of the things I think what you're talking about. If we're going to be all inclusive and for everybody, then we probably need to think about that, don't we?
Yes. So here moving forward, we are really looking at trying to make sure that all of our playgrounds here moving forward, we actually do take that into consideration. That we do make it ADA accessible, getting in and out, and when we do have some elements within that playground that everybody can play together. For it to be inclusive, it doesn't mean have a little small section over to the side just for special needs.
Right.
No, it needs to be all together where they can actually interact and play with, I'm not gonna say normal kids, but other kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Yes.
so there's our big push.
That's really good. One of the things, when talking about diversity for all ages, I think I have seen a lot of more effort on senior citizens. It looks like your group is spending more time with the senior network and those kind of organizations and senior expansion things. I think our community center now is open more for senior stuff. They was always been open for some, but it looks like to me it's even more now. Do you feel like it's a good emphasis, bigger emphasis on senior citizens?
Yes, I think it is. I'm not gonna say they didn't do it in the past, but I think with the staff that we have now, and so some of their background, it kind of made it a little easier. Like now, every Wednesday here in the community center, from 10 to 11, we have some senior specific event. That's every Wednesday, something for the seniors here from 10 to 11 every Wednesday. So that right there has been huge, I think, so that the seniors know that at least once a week right now, they have somewhere where they can go. It may be bingo, it may be Blanco, it may be some kind of performing arts, anything like that. So it's really been good. So this year we will be hosting our senior golden, I think it's Golden Age Expo, and
Yeah,
that's
I heard
going to
about
be
that.
on November the 21st. That's National Seniors Day. We're going to have an expo here in the community center where the seniors can come in, and we're going to have vendors set up. And what they'll do is they'll come in. We have vendors. We're going to have speakers, just different information for the seniors to come in. It may be from getting health screenings, know about housing, food banks, or anything like that seniors may know about, banking, a lot of things. And somebody had told me that you actually going to become giving the welcome that day, Mayor.
Yeah, I can do that. I would be more than happy to do that. Is it August the 21st or November? You said November 21st.
I'm sorry. My bad. It's going to be August 21st.
August 21st. Yeah. That's coming up soon, really.
Yeah, it's coming up real soon. We are working hard now to finalize everything with a meal, some form of snacks for all the seniors that come through. And also, that's going to also be the first day to register for all of our senior trips that's coming up for the months of September, October, November. So people who come to the expo, the seniors that come to the expo, that'll be a day that they can go to the Parks and Recreation table and actually register for those events.
Mhm.
because we are not opening it up to online registration or to the public till the 22nd.
Mhm.
But if you come to the expo, you'll be able to sign up because all these events are going to be limited seating. So if you come to the event and want to go to these events, you can come and sign up on that day, and you can actually beat the rest from getting in there.
That's great. That's great. Let me ask you this, June. We are running out of time. 20 minutes have gone by already. So we could use another 20 minutes for sure.
I know, right?
But I think I was talking to you. I think you told me a while back that there's about 700 participants in the fall ball programs and the fall program, soccer and everything. That number may be somewhere along in there.
Yep.
But overall, it's really, I guess when I think about your group and your staff, your great staff you have, just how many different individuals do that group touch in some way? You know, because really, you touched 10,000 a few days ago. Is that right?
Yes, surprisingly, I have been doing fireworks for 17 years before I got here, 18, and this is the first time I have kind of seen what 10,000 looked like. But I was ripping and running so much, I really couldn't get a chance to see it until I got on the stage and looked out into the crowd, and wow, that was amazing. But yes, with everything we do here, we actually, Parks and Recreation touches every demographic here in the town of Rolesville. Some way, fashion, or form, we are touching every demographics here. The only one that we haven't really focused in on and touched wholly has been that special needs. So that's my next biggest push, is to make sure that we actually touch the special need population, because we have touching the youth, the adults, the seniors. Now I just want to make sure that the African American, the Native American, the blacks, Hispanics, we touching whites, we're touching all of that. But there's one little piece that we haven't touched on yet, and that's going to be that special needs population. So that's my next biggest thing, is to make sure that we do touch that, so that I can say that Parks Recreation here in Rolesville is touching every demographics here in the town.
That's good. It's just, to me, it's mind-boggling. You know, I mean, if you count people use our greenways, there's no really number.
Yeah.
You know? How do you know what people doing in our parks? I mean, we don't even have enough parking for everybody to come to Main Street sometimes with with the people that want to come there. But I guess in 12 months, if you thought about it, how many different individuals it touches, just probably mind-boggling. So yes. Great job. And, June, just pass along to your folks, great job. They are a great bunch of people. I think they're very, I think it makes a difference when you do something you enjoy doing. I don't know if you agree with that or not, yes. But I always felt like, if you do something you enjoy doing, and I hope all your people enjoy what they're doing and enjoy, providing, touching all these thousands and 10,000s of people, with the fireworks show and those type things. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great job. But Mayor, before I get off, I actually know my time is coming. By this being Parks and Recreation Month, I must give a big shout out to my staff. I got an Eddie Henderson. He's our park superintendent. I got Kristen Stafford. She's our special events coordinator. I got Tina White. She's our cultural coordinator. I got Mark Pittman. I got Brett Garrett. They are our athletic coordinators. I got Nada Stevens. She was our administrative assistant. And as much as Parks and Rec does, and we got our own department, we would not be nothing without the Public Works Department. So during Parks and Recreation Month, I must shout out Public Works, because they are the one who are cutting our ball fields. They line them for us. Any kind of thing we have going on with our fields, they are there. They're moving stuff for special events for us. So I must, even though it's Parks Recreation Month, I must give a big shout out to Public Works as well. And Isaac Isaac and his whole department with Public Works.
Yeah, I think they go hand in hand a little bit, because you're using the facilities and they public, facilities and Public Works has to do a lot of things on that. So, June, it's been great having you on the show. We'll have to continue to do this. I think Parks and Recreation Month, comes around, once a year, and really enjoyed having you on here. Appreciate all you doing. I know all those staff, you reached out to them, but I think, talking to you, so much more we could talk about. And you mentioned to me, you wanted to do All-Stars, all these things that, we can talk for the next 20 minutes on. You just got a big dream, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Well, great. I see Philip has jumped back in. Paul has jumped back in.
I'm feeling the energy, June. I'm feeling it.
All right, thank you.
I tell you, Philip, just listening to June talk, it wears you out, don't it? I think it was echo on you there. I mean, Philip.
Sorry about that. Yes.
Yeah. So, Paul, appreciate you participating. You and June work hand in hand, I think, right? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make me now. I'm joking, June.
Yeah. That's right.
Hey, June, I got a big shout out real quick. We have a lot of things for different seasons, and I have a full house here, and it's been mentioned to me before that we need a first night, a winter themed New Year's Eve type situation. So just want to put that out there.
Well, listen, I'm just going to throw it out there real quick. We are going to have a tree lighting this year.
Okay, good.
We are doing tree lighting, and we're looking at doing some fake snow. It's going to be great. It's going to be at Redford Place Park. We've already got the 14-foot tree to set up. So big things are coming here in Rolesville.
Awesome. Very good.
See that, Paul? I was reading your mind.
Yeah.
That is a good thought, though. First night type thing for sure. And maybe, we got bicentennial. It's not named bicentennial at 250 years. What do you call it, Paul? 250 years.
I should know that. 250th.
Yeah, 250. It comes up in 2026. So, we got some time there, June, to think about some stuff. So,
okay.
Well, y'all do a great job. Both of y'all work good together. Y'all do a great job. Appreciate having y'all on the show. Really do. Thanks a lot. Any closing comments from you, Philip?
No, it's good to go. Talking about bringing in some snow. I remember no matter how hot it gets here, there's always available fake snow. I was in a Southeastern Asian country, Singapore, for a little while, and it never gets below 70 degrees there, and mostly it's 85 degrees. And snow. Every single shopping center had a Santa's workshop with snow, and it was bubbles. I got some great pictures of my kids just being swamped in the bubbles. So I don't know what kind of snow you're bringing in, but bubbles are fun.
Yeah, we don't know if it's in December. It could be real snow.
Could be real snow. Yes,
real snow.
Could save some money on the fake snow. Definitely.
But
no. Exciting month going on right now in July. A lot of people traveling, a lot of people on vacation. Hope everybody stays safe. But there's still a lot of stuff happening here at home, and lots of activities. Glad to hear of all of it.
Yeah, it is. And again, thank you guys for joining tonight. Appreciate it. Good service you guys provide to the community, as we talked about. So thanks a lot.
Definitely.
Thank you.
All right. With that, then if nothing else, we can close out the show. Ronnie, if you're good to go.
Yeah, I think it's that time. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll catch you in a month.